Fear is the path to the dark side.
Fortunately, there will be a doctor on that debate stage tonight, and only he has the prescription for our debt problem. Ron Paul is the only candidate in the Republican race who has served in the federal government and not succumbed to the debt disease, and who has consistently voted to force the government to live within its means. Michelle Bachmann and Rick Santorum were cheerleaders for President Bush's big spending policies and for his dreadful unconstitutional Patriot Act.
You have a question coming.
Okay, the senator is wrong on his history. We've been at war in Iran for a lot longer than '79. We started it in 1953 when we sent in a coup, installed the Shah, and the reaction, the blowback came in 1979. It's been going on because we just plain don't mind our own business. That's our problem.
I will do everything to make sure that Iran does not become a nuclear power.
30 seconds, Congressman Paul.
Well, I think she turns our rule of law on its head. She says that the terrorists don't deserve protection under our courts, but therefore a judgment has to be made. They're ruled a terrorist. Who rules them a terrorist? I thought our courts recognized that you had to be tried, and we've done this, and we've brought individuals back from Pakistan and other places. We've given them a trial in this country, over 300, or at least near 300. We tried and put them in prison. So this idea that we have to turn on its head and reject the rule of law, we already are at the point where this administration, please let me finish. Well, I have to say, and this administration already has accepted the principle that when you assume somebody is a terrorist, they can be targeted for assassination, even American citizens. That affects all of us eventually. You don't want to translate our rule of law into a rule of mob rule.
Senator Santorum.
Iran will not get a nuclear weapon because the world as we know it will be no more.
Congressman Paul, 30 seconds.
You've heard the war propaganda that is liable to lead us into the sixth war, and I worry about that position. Iran is a threat because they have some militants there. But believe me, they're all around the world, and they're all around the world, and they're not a whole lot different than others. Iran does not have an air force that can come here. They can't even make enough gasoline for themselves. And here we are, building this case out, please. They're building up this case just like we did in Iraq. Build up the war propaganda. There was no Al-Qaeda in Iraq, and they had nuclear weapons, and we had to go in. I'm sure you supported that war as well. Okay. It's time we quit this. It's time. It's trillions of dollars we're spending on his war.
If we elect a small government candidate in 2012, we may get out of this mess. If we don't, we won't. As you watch this debate tonight, look for the candidate who will upset the status quo, not just modify it slightly. From New York, defending freedom.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.